And now, the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Big D and Bubba, they have a show 5 days a week, but they don't get to say everything that's on their mind, so they have an extra one, and that's how we get the podcast, the podcast, the podcast. Big D and Bubba's podcast, the podcast, the podcast. Big D and Bubba's podcast.
This is like an abomination. It's like, you know, the what's the guy, the Real Men of Genius thing? You had the dude who would
first I started as
purposely
the guy from The Darkness. I was sing up here real high. and then I went to Survivor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he turned it to the dude doing it on purpose bad. All right, well, welcome to the podcast this week, and this
Carson
is episode 5 from the O'Reilly Auto Parts studio. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. And if you're an artist or a content creator or a podcaster or a Twitch person, whether you're doing whatever your thing is, Pickle Jar is going to help you make more money if you're a content creator. So the way this works is you, the person, the recipient, get to keep 100% of every fan tip, every song request, crowdfunding donation, anything that supports your creative talents. And you can claim a sign-on bonus of up to $350 when you create your account. And you can download iOS, also Droid, and picklejar.com.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out, do I have pizza on my face or something?
No, Carson's just.
Oh, Carson was like smiling, like ha 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 ha, like I know something about you. Patrick made me eat pizza earlier.
I'm sure
Wow,
that was
held him down.
Oh,
Patrick
boy.
and Garrett
Stuffed it in his face.
ordered pizza.
By the way, we
he's
ordered
like,
2 large pizzas, and then Bubba's like, "Can I get a pizza too?" I'm like, "You could eat our pizza."
No.
And he ordered another
He's saying,
pizza.
"Can I get a pizza too?" No, he walked in and he goes, "Hey, we're ordering pizzas. What do you want?"
I said, "You can just eat our pizza," and you're like, "No, I'll get my own."
Well,
own.
I asked what they had. Patrick had some pepperoni stuffed crust. Garrett got some mushroom something stuffed crust, and I'm a
Look
Hawaiian.
at Garrett with vegetables.
I'm
Good for
not a
him.
lot of vegetables.
I'm
just
a
mushrooms.
Hawaiian.
Still more than I heard on anybody else's.
Oh, it's so good, man.
Interestingly enough, Patrick, the Hawaiian shows up, and I'm eating it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And Patrick's like, I'll try it. He's never had it before.
Never had it before, and this was different. This was like
How have you
barbecue chicken Hawaiian pizza.
Oh my God, that's not even pizza.
It's
Well, you know what? It was
No.
pretty good.
Yeah, but
I
it
don't
ain't
wanna-
pizza.
It was good.
out of the 3,
Listen,
and I
pizza
tried all
snob
3.
from Connecticut, which you
Yeah,
can
Google
tell
New
somebody
Haven
that-
pizza. People
whatever.
who know.
Whatever.
Peppies. We did it first.
We did pretty good on our pizza today. We're pretty happy with our lunch.
Oh, my favorite pizza place shut down, and I
Oh my
want
gosh!
to die.
What?
know.
Joey's Pizza? It's closing.
Yeah, they
Yes.
It's closed.
No, it's closed.
They
They
didn't
were on
give
the
us any notice.
podcast
No,
back
they
in the
put
day.
it out on a
Yeah,
Sunday.
if they'd have just said, "Hey, we're closing tomorrow," we would have at least gone in and
Nope.
cried with them.
Because there would have been a mob.
and it would have
There
been.
would have been a
But you
mob.
would have thought they
There
would have
been
wanted to get
pickets.
rid of all
I would have
that.
been leading it.
But wouldn't you have thought that they would have wanted to get rid of all that inventory? Because you have flour, you got all that stuff.
I don't know, man.
Oh, I'm sure they still they do catering as well. So they might have had other jobs that were lined up because they cater people's weddings, which yes, if I ever got married 100% Joey's is catering my wedding.
Well, would have.
Oh no, they say it's not, the retail seems to be closed, but it sounds like they are going to continue in some sort of catering fashion.
What kind of drama went down?
I don't know.
I mean, that
they
place-
just decided. it
No,
wasn't-
I've been talking
they
to
probably,
Joey about it
you
for
know.
a while. And he was getting ready to retire. I think he'd had a heart attack a few years back, and so he'd had to cut down, and he had to worry about his stress levels and blood pressure. And so even last time I was in there, he had talked about setting up shop with his brother who lives in Florida, and he was like, "I'm just going to sell his pizzas on the beach out of a food truck." And then I'm like, "Joey, why you want to work like that?" He's like, "Maybe I don't. Maybe I'll do it one day a week." So
By the way, this place, I'd tell you to go, but you can't go.
No.
It
It
really was.
It really
I
was.
always thought they were going to get a reality TV show
I can't
because
believe that wasn't a TV show.
I mean, all they did was argue, and it was great.
So
and they would
great. And
argue
yell
in
at the
front of the
customers. No,
customers.
they would yell if you. It was very
What was that
comical. It
pizza
was like,
I always got? And they sold it by the slice. It was the Intimidator or something. Like
Gladiator.
The Gladiator. So they sell the Gladiator by the slice, and they're pretty big slices. It's New York style pizza.
well,
so
not
it's
just
good.
that. I mean, the Gladiator is like
Yeah, the
it's like an
Gladiator is
inch
also
thick.
covered. It's
Right.
dough on the bottom and then a layer of dough on the top
and
because
it's
it's
kinda like-
stuffed with pepperoni and sausage and
stuffed
meatballs.
with
And
pepperoni.
Every single
like,
time, pepperoni. That's funny.
Pepperonis.
Every single time I would order it, they would tell me I couldn't eat it. You can't eat that. I'm like, yes, I can.
I ordered
no,
two
no. He
slices
only
of it
get.
once,
They said
and
he
I
can
got yelled
only
at.
get one. I'm like, give me two.
No,
I'm gonna
Patrick
eat this.
tried to order two, and they told him you can't finish two. And you know what? Patrick couldn't finish two.
I couldn't.
I finished
ate one,
two.
and
Several
after
times.
The second one, it was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
I've actually, I had to tell them after the first time I finished two, they told me I couldn't do it. And I'm like, dude, I've done it already. Just give me my two slices.
you don't understand. I actually used to be skinny. I didn't get this way by accident.
It's true.
Oh my God, how many times would I watch somebody in the line get all the way to the front and not know what they want? And what was the daughter's name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie would just start, what's the matter? Why you don't know?
Oh,
Like,
I'll tell you one day.
How do you
I
wait
was,
in this giant line and not know
You
what
see all
want?
these people? They know.
I was in
the
line
matter
there
with
one
you?
day, and I was always really good about it because they were a mile from my house. So I'd go on my way
so
home,
sad.
and it's so sad. And one day I was in there, and there's some woman, and I was always smart about going 5 minutes before close because they'd always let me hang out too. But that's when there's no line because everybody's like, oh, they're gonna shut down. So I go in, and there's this woman standing there, and she's obviously never been there before. She's probably not from here, and she's just looking at this menu. And so finally, they're like, honey, what do you want? And I'm like, oh, can I get my usual mushroom slices? And you know, I feel like cannoli today. And so they box up the last two cannoli. This woman pitches a cow. I was going to get cannoli and you took her before me. And I'm like, oh, ma'am, are you about to go toe-to-toe with Chris? Because I want to watch this fight. And I'm like, are you really yelling at these? Oh, because she didn't know.
I wouldn't
And
yell
they
at those
had
people.
no problem yelling at
They
customers.
they were like, ma'am, we know you were we're going to take care of you.
You're just standing there.
They're like, why don't you calm down? And I'm like, yeah, fight. Like,
you can't tell someone to calm down, especially a lady. That's something I've
well.
learned.
Well, this lady.
I'm like, no, you can definitely do
Here
it.
I am, like hiding my cannoli like it's gold. You will not pry it from my hands.
I could deal with a cannoli
Oh
right
my
now.
God, they made it was funny. A
I
friend
was
of
so
mine
full on
messaged
pizza,
me.
but now I'm like, I could deal with a cannoli.
I brought I had them cater a tray of cannoli for a party once, and I brought it to my friend's house. And she messaged me a couple days after she found out Joey's was closing, and she's like, "Did you hear they're closing? What happened to our cannoli? That was the greatest thing you've ever brought." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, because I didn't make it. That's fair." So yeah,
kinda
but
sad.
I'm excited for whatever they have going forward. I'm sure they'll still be cooking. I really thought about trying to make a run and going, y'all got any sauce left? I'll just put a
listen,
vat of
just-
it in my freezer.
We could take
Dude,
some
let's
sauce.
do it.
We'll
I
be
bet they
fine.
made it fresh all the time. Though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I drive by them early in the morning before we even got on the air, and sometimes they'd be there.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
How has this affected your long-term thoughts on where you're going to live? Are you because you weren't open to moving? Are you like, I could move now? I don't live in.
Oh, like, I
live a
don't
mile
even
from
know that
Joey's
I-
anymore.
I don't even know that I need to be this town anymore. I love you guys. Do I really need this job? I mean,
No.
Joey's is gone. My reason
Joey's
for
is
living is
gone.
gone. No, it is. It's also been a really easy way to describe to someone, like, where do you live? Oh, by Joey's. Because everybody knew, even
Yeah.
if they'd never been. They were like, oh, the sign would forget about it. Like,
And
yeah.
Joey's was like a weird. It was in a weird spot. It was like
Yeah.
between some manufacturing warehouses and a
Yes.
cemetery.
It's a very industrial area.
And it was
Yes.
like, why in the world would you put this
Oh, I-
monument to cheese?
Cheap
I
building.
wondered if they owned it and then if they got bought out.
Oh, I bet they might
Because
have owned the building. Of
That's the
course,
thing,
yeah.
that there's just across the street down the way, they just put in these new townhouses. And so they're starting to build up that area. And there's a new plan that there's a bridge going in like a mile down the road. So I think property values there are going to really go up for where they're at,
Yeah.
kind of there and further back down. So, yeah.
By the way, to all the other people listening from everywhere else in the country, as we reminisce over the best pizza in the planet, and possibly. I mean, I am a pizza connoisseur, and I know people are like, well, New York pizza's the best. You don't know. I do know.
Well, they were from
And-
Brooklyn.
and Carson
They
also.
were Brooklyn people,
Yeah.
so they did it right. Like, calm down. They
It
know how to
wasn't
make
Chicago
your pizza. aight?
and don't get mad if you're a Chicago person.
Well, because Chicago's not pizza, that's
no,
pie. Merry
no,
Christmas.
but it's also very good. I am a Giordano. I'll order Giordano's delivery,
Yeah, that's
where they
fine.
ship it to the house. Sometimes you get in the mood for that.
It's
I
a
mean,
meat sauce and cheese pie.
Oh, that's amazing. It's
But yeah.
amazing.
Why do you think I take trips to Connecticut on the regular? It's literally to go eat pizza.
What was
That's
the
it.
Okay,
name
but
of the?
what's like 5 Points is great pizza.
No,
though.
it's not. Oh, God,
it is.
no, it's
no,
I do like
no,
5 Points.
no.
No, it's not.
You are
I would
both
rather.
wrong.
I would
No.
rather that Hawaiian thing that I ate earlier than
yeah,
that
boy,
stuff.
you want to
Also
talk
good.
overrated.
No,
part of it
what?
was so overrated. Part of Connecticut pizza is it's very thin Neapolitan style, but the original
What
was
is
in
Neapolitan pizza?
very thin, very minimal sauce, really more about tomatoes, just a little smattering of
Like
cheese.
flatbread?
No. It does rise, but it was also the original style, New Haven style pizza was coal-fired ovens. So you get just a little bit of char, a little bit of black on the bottom.
Well, that's kinda
and it's spectacular. And so that's why that we do have very specific pizza in New Haven and thus Connecticut. And New York is different, but still also great. I knew people from New York who would take the train into Connecticut to buy pizza, and they'd go back home.
Michael Bolton, always.
Shelton's Own.
Yeah, he used to praise the Connecticut pizza.
Yep. I met a guy from Jersey a couple weeks ago, and he looked at me. He goes, "You found any good pizza here?" And I go, "Yeah, you've been to Joey's?" He's like, "Yeah, I know them. That's it, but they're only open and now they're shut. So we're gonna have to make another pilgrimage. This is why we go home.
It's crazy.
That's it. I go home to eat and then I leave. I take like 3 pizza. I have pizza bags in my car, like the delivery drivers carry. I do that so I can carry pizza back and forth to my hotel room when I'm staying in Connecticut.
Really?
Oh boy, that is
You
some
have a
fat
problem.
girl stuff.
No, I was going to say you
That is
have an
next level
actual
fat kid
problem.
stuff.
That
right there.
is fat girl.
That is disturbing.
Why? I like what I like.
Man, it's like when I go home and I got to get Raising Canes.
Dude.
I love Raising Cane's. I know where the closest Raising Cane's is off the highway. Like when I'm going through, it's in Tuscaloosa. That's the first one that's pretty easy to get to. And if I leave in the morning, it's about lunchtime. On my way down to Louisiana, I can stop there. There's also one in Hattiesburg and one in Laurel in case I want to eat a late lunch. I know where they're at. I know where the one in Meridian is too. All the way from Nashville to New Iberia, Louisiana, I know where at least 6 Raising Cane's are because you know what I can't get in Nashville? Raising Cane's. I love Raising Cane's.
Seems like a problem.
No.
It's a problem, but you know what? Soon, I'm going to weigh 450 pounds because they're going to open 2
Gonna?
Raising I do, boy.
I
2
know. No, the bad
Raising
thing is
Cane's.
I almost weigh as much as Patrick right now.
Yeah, that's fine. 2
And
Raising
it's-
Cane's coming.
I haven't been on a scale lately, but it's entirely possible I do too. So
You know, and Carson and I were really smart. We found, okay, so we joined a gym together, kinda, sorta.
you introduced me to it.
Yeah, right next to the studio, and there's a, what is it, about 200-yard walk, maybe, maybe
How many times you walk to the gym, Bubba?
zero times. I have because it's weird. We went and we scattered out the walk. It's perfect. It's great, but I just drive still because what happens is if I walk there, I have to go in. If I drive there,
If I drive there, I can hang out in my car. I can
That's
take
exactly
a nap.
what
I can play
happens.
on my phone. That's not the point of having a gym nearby,
but
Bubba.
that's what I do. I drive there, and I'll back into my parking spot because you gotta do that.
I do that too. Yep.
So then you're good, and then I will call my mom or dad. Hey, Dad, baseball game's about to start. I'll talk to them for a little while. I'll kind of lay my seat back and just relax and talk to Mom and Dad on the phone. I like to check in with them almost every day now.
Yeah, you can
And
do that after you go to the gym.
I could.
On your way home.
But why? I would have less energy.
Yeah. Why? I would have to go to the gym.
Also, the amount of people at our gym that talk on the phone while they're at the gym.
Oh, that irks me.
I have a lot of people that will get next to me on the cardio, and they'll just be blip, blip, blip,
But
blip, yapping away.
as soon as I do finally make it into the door, I do like crazy hit stuff. I'm in and out in 30 minutes. I mean, I don't stop. It's like boom, 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 next exercise, and I just keep going. And then as soon as I'm done, I'm out. I don't waste time.
Skedaddle.
I do not waste time once I'm in there, which is probably bad because I'm not prolonging the heart rate or any of
No,
that
it's
stuff.
still good. No, it's still good.
Better than sitting in your car in the
yes,
parking lot.
exactly.
But I don't leave anymore. I used to go and I would sit in the car in the parking lot and take a nap and leave. Now I go and I actually will meander in at some point.
I mean, to Bubba's credit, we had some new gym equipment installed, and it's a brilliant shade of red. And he said to me, "Have you seen the new red equipment?" And I said, "I hadn't."
She thought I
Because
was lying.
No, I did not think he was
You
lying.
thought-
It was that Bubba had been to the gym more recently than I had. So good for you, man.
Yeah.
I went the other day. It's been a very busy 2 weeks for me.
Yeah,
so.
same. I haven't been able to go either. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on in life right now that has kind of kept me out. Like today, I would love to go to the gym, but when we're done with this, I got to hurry home because I got stuff that I have to get done.
Yeah.
And then I got fire tonight and whatever. So I won't be, I'm never on this end of town. When I leave, especially on a weekend, I never come back this way.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's almost like you shouldn't have paid to go to the gym. You shouldn't have
But the
signed up
gym
to pay
is-
for the gym every
The
month.
gym is right there. So it's,
But you don't go.
I do.
He has been.
I do. I
You
go
s- I-
about 3 days a week. I haven't for the last 2 weeks, but when I get going, I go 3 days a week minimum because it's just right there. And I will pull my car around there. Literally, I have to circle 2 buildings and park. And then I will go in, do what I got to do after I talk on the phone to mom and all that. And then I leave. But it's like
I
it's
think
part
I would
of the
be
job.
more likely to go to a gym if it was right next to my house. Maybe. I
Maybe. You have a treadmill in your house.
have a treadmill in my house.
Do you
It's
use
not-
it?
No.
But you'd
No.
use a gym? No.
You know what,
has a
Carson?
point.
I hate you, and we're good.
She has a point. I do want to get
but at least I'm not paying for the gym every
Facts.
month.
Facts.
You know, The tread-
fats.
I mean,
Fat
he's,
facts.
he's calling
It's
out
fat
both of us.
facts.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So no, I need to get back on like hardcore. I looked at
Well-
myself and I just go, "Bleh."
Okay, what about? I know we have a big thing Monday, which is going to keep me out of the gym. Yeah, right. That's Monday. We got all those people coming by, and
that shouldn't keep you out of the gym.
yeah, because it's
Because we're gonna
late.
have people here for 1 hour.
It's late. It's
It's
late in
people-
the
Right
afternoon.
after the show.
We have people coming in.
I thought you said it was like 1:30.
Right after the show, we have people
Oh,
coming
that's-
in.
yeah.
Oh, I thought
Yeah, we
it was
can
later.
go. We'll go
Oh,
on.
then I can do that. I thought it was in the middle of like the afternoon. I was like, well, if it's going to split my afternoon, there's no way I'm going to go to the gym.
I have no idea where you would get that impression. But no, it's
I
not
do,
in the
Because when
afternoon.
he sent me the meeting on my calendar,
Do I have the meeting on my calendar?
There's no meeting on the calendar.
Okay.
That's not. I sent you a meeting for this broadcast we have to do. That's like a month from now.
I don't know.
And then, and I got to go give blood on Monday too.
It's fine. My makeup's always done, so I'm not too worried about
Carson,
it anymore.
now that we're on video all the time, Carson's always like, whatever. I'm
Do you
made up all the
understand?
time."
Like I said, the last 2 weeks have been very, very busy, and I've been out late a lot of nights, and I sleep till the absolute possible last minute. And I have gotten my makeup routine down to 4 minutes. That I can spackle this on, paint on some eyebrows, and out the door.
Wow.
Oh
Impressive.
yeah, I'm right.
Wow.
Like even today, I was like, ooh, I don't have to do my hair. It's gonna go up. That saves me a good 4 minutes of curling.
I roll out of the shower and just come straight to work. That's a beautiful thing about a hat, because otherwise you get that
Yeah,
mess. Ugh.
yeah.
Hats are awesome.
Yeah. Start employing that.
What, the hat?
Mm-hmm.
You should. You do sometimes.
Yeah, it hasn't been very recent though.
There was
Again, we're on camera and I'm like, oh.
There was one hat that fit Patrick really well, and he always thought we were joking, and he never wears it.
First of all, there's never, you'll never get me to believe that sort of stuff from y'all because you would lie to me.
Was it a
for
baseball
years
hat?
for a joke?
It was like a trucker cap.
But even
or
then, I'm
something
just
like
not a
that.
hat. I don't like the feeling of it. It's not even about how I look.
That's fair.
I don't like having a hat on my head. It just
I get that.
it doesn't do it.
No,
you know.
I understand. I understand.
I used to have a cowboy hat I used to wear and like to go out to events and stuff years ago, like it's 20 years ago. Oh man, thinking back on it now, I'm like, boy, I would look really dumb if I wore a cowboy hat. You know, like I don't think I can pull that off.
It would take a giant hat.
First of all, I have 2 giant hats. I
Yep.
have a black one I've had for years, and then Cody Johnson gave me one that's like that actually fits my head. It's a straw hat. It is beautiful because it's Cody Johnson's,
Yeah. His
partnership,
signature.
his signature hat. I mean, what am I going to wear that with? When I
Yeah.
put on my, put on a sport coat and go to the CMAs and put my hat on? Actually, that's a good idea.
That's actually a
yeah,
pretty.
you should.
That's a good idea. But see,
Yeah.
I would need a black hat for that because it's in the fall.
No.
If I wear a black suit too, I need a black hat.
I
But-
don't know
But I don't know the.
Why don't you wear a straw suit?
But I have a blue sport coat or wear like gray pants. I could wear a white hat.
Yeah. You could.
It's not the worst idea I've ever had. I don't know if my wife would go out with me if I wore a cowboy hat
Why?
sitting next to her.
I mean, she's gone out with you now.
I know she is. Vivica is not country at all. Like she has come a long way. She can pick Luke Combs out of a lineup. Okay,
Wow.
and Kane Brown, and that's about it. Like she knows some of the older guys' names, but she couldn't tell. If you put George Strait in a lineup with 5 dudes about the same age, there's no way she could tell you which one he was. Not a chance. And it's kind of fun. But if I started wearing a cowboy hat, I think she would be like, no, this is not a thing. We're not doing this.
Really?
Oh, the amount of cowboy hats I saw last weekend.
Oh,
Going to
man,
Garth.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
You made Garth cry. You never told me the story.
Yeah, I did. I got to go to the press conference.
Right, which was you were so excited because you were wearing some magical shirt or
I got
something.
my Eskimo Joe's Stillwater,
yeah.
Oklahoma. It was a
Yeah.
vintage sweatshirt that I'd scored for like $2 off Whatnot. And I put that on, and I look cuter in sweatshirts because you can't see as much of my arms. And I cropped it, and it was cute. And okay, can we be straight up real?
Mm-hmm.
There are people in that room that I wanted to throttle.
Why?
Do your
Like
research.
Media people?
Yes.
Carson
Like
has-
actual radio people who
Not
didn't
radio.
know?
No, not radio.
Like radio people.
No.
Oh, it
Press
was-
conference gets a lot
Oh,
of
Yeah.
bloggers
outlets that-
and things?
Yeah.
Yeah, and no, calling these people bloggers is an insult to bloggers.
Yeah. It was. I don't
Well,
know
where'd they
how
come from?
I don't know. I don't know how they get on
I'm not
this
gonna
list.
call out,
Or yeah,
like,
and that's the thing. I really don't know
outlets,
who
but there's
they
some outlets
are.
there where you go, this isn't even
And they're-
real.
Oh, wait, are you talking
You're
about
just-
like some of the big outlets?
No, some of these
Yeah.
websites and Facebook pages where it's like you literally do this so you can get tickets to things.
Yeah.
This isn't even really a job or like a thing.
Yeah,
This
and
is
one of
just
them
something
started.
you figured out as a way that you can get in. And listen, that's a great grift. Good for you. Props to you. But you should at least show up and have a decent freaking question.
I
if
don't know.
you're
Hit
gonna take
Google,
time.
man. They
Or
one
why
of them.
not? Why do they even have to ask a question if you don't know anything?
Well, it's a
Just-
press conference. You're there to ask a question.
Right.
Because these people don't have shame. It would never occur to me to have some false quote media thing and then try to scam my way into tickets. So then if you take it one step further, that they have no shame about that. They have no shame about bald-faced looking at Garth Brooks and not having a clue about the show he's about to put on. One of them, and luckily they asked this before he got there, and they were like, so this is a makeup show, right? And I was like, well, I mean, technically, yeah, because the show got rained out in July.
He's wearing makeup?
So yes, Bubba. So I said, well, so is everybody just using their same tickets?
No,
Well, no,
like,
because
how do you
there's-
not know that if
'cause
you're
the-
in the media?
Yeah,
'Cause
because
there's
that had
also-
already been publicized
yeah,
for
this
a
is- this is
year.
not
Thank
even-
you.
yeah.
There's also
Yeah.
2 shows. Are you aware that there's a show that we're getting ready for tonight, but there's one tomorrow night too? And did the money get refunded? Are you kidding me? Are you
Yes!
kidding? And
These
Where
people
were
didn't know
you?
anything.
no, and that's when I say they literally knew nothing. And I have no poker face, and the steam is coming out of my ears, and all I want to do is punch them mercilessly.
Could
but I
you
don't.
just stand up and go, excuse me, I actually know who Garth Brooks is and I know about the concerts, so I'm going to ask a question and let these dummies sit down.
So can I just moderate this, please?
Like,
Please.
seriously, you should
let
call
me-
them dummies.
So, but I'm also, when it comes to
Stinky heads.
I mean, look, and the thing is, I just sit there politely, squirming.
I'm sorry, that was my
Yeah,
outside
no. So
voice.
anyway, I had said to Garth, talking about the refunded tickets, that I'd bought my tickets to the show like a regular card-carrying human, and very, very quickly, within 3 days, when that show got rained out, the money is back in your account and the parking. They refunded everything that was associated with the stadium.
The
Good.
fees, the park,
Yes,
everything.
and I said
you
to
got
him,
all of it back.
I told him, I've got to imagine that this was, given the speed of how it happened, that between you and your team, I said, I understand this is a Team Garth enterprise, but just how quickly that there was no question, we don't have to submit refunds. It was already done for us. That I felt like that was very important to you, that you've talked about people spending their hard-earned money. And he said, I'll pass that along to the folks at Ticketmaster. That's very sweet of you to say. And then he goes, and you're going to make me cry. And he does. He starts crying, talking about seeing the people walking across the bridge, being so disappointed, getting stuck in the rain for 2 hours. So, yes, I made Garth Brooks cry.
Okay,
and you're
now-
welcome, all you other stupid websites who now have that footage.
Do you think he turned that cry on? Because Garth is really good. I mean, he's really good.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying he's faking it, but Garth is.
He's an
Garth
emotional
has
guy.
gotten to where he's good at wearing those emotions publicly. He just is.
Yeah. So, no,
no second thought to him.
So
to
they were
start
real
crying.
tears.
Oh,
I think so.
absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, I
that
have
he was
the-
so upset that his fans were sad.
Yeah, I have the audio pulled somewhere. But yeah, because I was like, I made Garth Brooks cry. How you doing? And it's funny because they make you introduce yourself at the press conference that you have to say, like, hi, I'm Carson with Silverfish. And so
Hi,
I
I'm
put,
Carson. We kissed.
I put my little hand up and I'm like, hi, I'm Carson. And he just interrupts me. He's like, did you see what happened in Dallas this morning? Because he had sold out AT&T Stadium. I'm like, sure did. And he goes, are you going to be coming to see us there? I'm like,
I mean, are
mean-
you inviting me?
no, bro, because you sold out. Because I was still in Ticketmaster,
Did you-
2,000 people.
Did you say that? Did you say no?
He made some
it's-
comment about me coming to the show, and I'm like, but then he actually invited. I was there with a friend of mine at the press conference who he loves her, and he invited us to one of his Cincinnati shows. So I booked a hotel room, and we're going.
What?
And she texted him and told him we're going because she apparently has G Dog's phone number.
What? You know
Right.
people that have his number?
Yeah.
Look, man, I stay away from the phone because what if I do something stupid? What if I speak to text like you guys do and something goes weird?
Carson will tell you straight up she does not want Garth Brooks' phone number.
Nope,
Because she is terrified of what she might, not even like intentionally say, like just like a typo, and then she'll be mortified forever and she'll jump off a bridge.
Yes.
I've done dumb stuff like that. Like I accidentally texted somebody. One of my buds is named Blake, and I happened to accidentally text Blake Shelton stuff I was asking this guy, and they were like, "What are you? Who is it?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry, wrong Blake." And he's like, "Oh, you're going to the better Blake," and he figured out what was up at that point. Like, dude, I'm sorry, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
My favorite thing is the early days of no, this wasn't even talk text. It was a voicemail. Big D left a voicemail for one of our bosses about, oh God, this was a long time ago, back when we didn't, have our own company. And he was in traffic, and he leaves the voicemail, and at the very end, he goes, jerk, because a guy cut him off. But the voicemail, it's, all right, man, well, we'll figure it out tomorrow. Jerk. Like that. It was so great. It was
I
so
don't
great.
remember that.
Oh, yes.
And
And, then,
my
of course,
heart has
that guy
just-
sends me the voicemail. He's like, we need to talk about this. And he emails me the thing, and it's got the voicemail attached so that I can hear what D did. And I'm like, dude, did you call so-and-so a jerk on a voicemail? What? No. Like, it was so great.
Was that the guy that used to be like his BFF for a little while?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out he was a jerk.
Yeah, oddly enough, this guy
I still don't
earned
think
it.
Big D
No,
meant
no.
to call him that in a text
No,
message.
because at that point, Big D was like, this guy, I mean,
Yeah.
I had a
Family.
lawn guy once that he kept telling me he was going to come, like take care of the grass. And he just kept putting me off and off. And my grass getting higher and higher and stuff. I called him like, look, man, I'm not trying to be a pain. If you're not coming, I just need to know. No, I'm going to be there, blah, 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 blah. And he didn't hang up. And he uttered a word that would be which if it had a different letter on the front of it. And so I just called him back and I said, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. What? And I go, I heard what you said about me. I didn't say anything. I'm like, okay, but you did. And that's cute.
But you
so,
did.
yeah.
And I heard it.
Yeah.
And we're done now.
Okay.
Keep it by now.
That happened to me once. I got a brand new phone and I went to Vegas with some girlfriends of mine. And I don't know if you guys have this as dudes, but chicks, man, there's always one who screws up your trip that she's got to be drama and she's got to make it all about her. And
it's usually girls. And the only reason
Yeah.
I'm saying that is because I've taken a lot of guy trips.
Yeah,
And
and
it's usually pretty cool.
pretty relaxed.
But I watch my wife's girls' trips and I watch my daughters hang out with their
Yep.
friends. It's always one.
And there's always one, and this was one. And I had gotten a brand new phone before we went out there, so I didn't 100% know how to hang it up yet. And so she calls, we'd gone somewhere, and we had split up. There were two groups of us. And she calls like, where are you guys? And I'm like, oh, we're coming back, whatever.
You went out with Wazowski?
And so I go and I thought I hung up the phone. And I'm talking to the friend that's with me, and I'm like, oh, dude, she's mad. I can hear it. She's ruining this whole trip. And we're going back and forth about. And then I look down and realize this phone is still picking up. This call has not ended. Oh, she listened to the whole
That's where
thing.
you go. As a matter of fact, I still have her on the phone now. Hey, you still there? That's how you cover that.
She got
You have to
all-
own that. You
Oh,
know?
no, I did. I sat her down and I said, look, you're an emotional terrorist. This is it. You're holding us all hostage. And I ended up making her apologize.
Good.
We're also not friends anymore.
Did you make
but-
her cry too?
No, she didn't cry. No, she's no Garth. She's no Garth.
If you look down and you see that you didn't hang up, you got to be like,
Oh, like you said, you got to own
and
it.
she's right here. Hold on. Hey, I never hung up. Are you still there? Yeah, you just called me. Yeah, I did. I made sure you
Yep.
heard all that.
Yep, it did. So, yeah. Not one of my finer moments, though. Still awkward. But she's not a friend anymore. It's fine.
All right. Well,
All right, yeah, I gotta go.
Yes.
I'm just looking at the
yes.
time.
This
It's been a-
podcast was like really bizarre. Shout out to Michael, Marshall, J-Ram, Rawhide, Joan. You guys are awesome. Good hearing from y'all, and all the best. Have a good weekend. And whatever you're listening to this podcast, don't forget to rate it. Go on.
I mean, if you like it.
yeah, if you like, look, lie. We ask.
That's
We've
right.
asked before. You just lie. Just tell everybody it's the best podcast ever. Give us the best rating you can ever. That way the podcast shows up in suggestions. Thank you. We love you, and we mean it.
This was the podcast, but now it's over. But that's okay.
That's okay.
You can listen to the regular show
Glad it's over.
on the radio every day.